Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 358. My name is Dan, and I shall be your host. So, cheers to you all. There we go. Before we start off, if you do like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Hit the little thumbs up and little bell to be notified when I publish new content like this. All right, here I go again. So I've done does every Iron Maiden album suck after Seventh Son? Does every Rush album suck after Signals? Does every Alice Cooper album suck after Muscle of Love? And today I'll be doing, does every acdc album suck after The Razor's Edge? Now, before everybody goes mad here, and this is probably going to be a hot take here, this is not based only on my opinion, but for people that I've talked to regarding acdc, okay? So it's, like I said, it's not just my opinion, it's what I hear here and there, and I'm going to give examples to prove my point as we go along. Now, I like acdc. I don't love them, okay? You know the joke, you guys have made 20 albums that all sound the same, and the guy from acdc is like, no, that's not true, we made 22 albums that all sound the same, like, whatever. It's true, but some of it is fresh, some of it is not fresh at all, some of it is very rehashed. So we'll go, oh my god, there's a lot of albums here, and yes, I do have them all. So there will be a ranking also coming along eventually. But today we'll be concentrating on, does every album from acdc suck after The Razor's Edge? And it's, acdc is one of those bands I do not understand their popularity, okay? Everywhere you go, it's like stadiums. Even here in Canada, I've seen them twice. Great concerts, I'll get into that again later on when I show examples there. But yeah, the place is always packed, but nobody seems to care about any album after The Razor's Edge, okay? And again, I'll explain myself as I go along. So we're going to go through the discography. I'm going to go through quickly the early stuff there up until The Razor's Edge, and then we'll get into detail as to why I think, or other people think, that this well, all the albums suck after Razor's Edge. Okay, so I have got the international version of their first album. Very good album. And you know what? You guys are probably gonna think I'm stupid or ignorant or whatever. I first heard of the song It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll. You know when I first heard or knew it existed? Was when Pat Boone released his album In a Metal Mood, which I have the CD here. I should have taken it out, but whatever. I don't feel like pressing pause again. But I'm like, what the hell is this song from ACD? I had never seen the video, nor had I heard it. Again, I didn't own any ACDC until much later in the game. So this is a great album here. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Is one of, and I feel stupid for not knowing about it there, but it's a great song. Like one of their best, and with the bagpipes, very original. Here, High Voltage, you hear that at hockey arenas all the time, which TNT, that also is very popular at arenas here. But anyway, very good debut album. And then I'm going to put this one here now. I know it came out later on, but because I don't have the Australian versions of the two first albums, I did get this 74 Jailbreak. I do remember at the time, though, they played that video for Jailbreak, and I friggin' hated it. Why? Because it looked old compared to the other videos we saw. Again, I was a very my teens, what I was judging by. I shouldn't be judging by a video. Let me put it that way. Now I love the song, by the way, a Jailbreak. So this is another good one here. 74 Jailbreak. ACDC. Another good one here. Of course, you gotta love Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Big Balls. Everybody knows a story behind that one there. If you're not familiar, I would suggest go Googling that song. It's friggin' hilarious. That's one of the better pun or tongue-in-cheek type songs I've heard there. So, and you know what? I'm going to talk about Right On later on here. But yeah, Problem Child is here, and I believe it actually appears in the next one. Yeah, it's on this one here. So Let There Be Rock, another great song here. Let There Be Rock is a great song. Whole Lotta Rosie, that's going to be another one of my favorites of AC/DC. So right now, it's all fun. Like, everything is friggin' great here. So Let There Be Rock, another great one right here. Now, okay, this one here. Well, I'm talking about this one here. Now, all my life, now you guys correct me if I'm wrong here, or somebody else is wrong here. I've always called it Power Age, okay? But I saw the Thunder Mother guitarist saying it's actually should be pronounced Powerage, like an outage, you know? I was like, what? So which is it? Is it Powerage or Power Age? Whatever the pronunciation, as a kid, this album cover scared the crap out of me. I used to go to again, back in Kirkland Lake, used to go to Supremes and go look at all the, like, I knew every name of bands, I just never heard them. And of course, I knew all of the AC/DC albums, but this one really scared me as a 10-year-old, okay? So yeah, Powerage or Power Age, whatever. Another one of the better ones here. Sin City is one of my favorite songs of all time from this band here. So anyway, another great album here. And of course, the last one with Bon Scott, Highway to Hell. This one is actually a very good classic. Highway to Hell, Girls Got Rhythm, Touch Too Much, probably one of my favorites from AC/DC also. But yeah, that would be the end of this guy right here, because he would die with an accidental throwing up there. Anyway, whatever you want to call that there. So AC/DC Highway to Hell would be the last one with Bon Scott. Now, this AC/DC is my favorite, okay? I'll defend the Bon Scott era versus the Brian Johnson era any day of the week. This sounds fresh. This sounds new. This sounds energetic. This sounds like a band on a mission, that they're not, you know, rehashing stuff, okay? So then comes new singer Brian Johnson, which they come out with Back in Black. A very good album in its own right. Back in Black, Hell's Bells, Shoot to Thrill, You Shook Me All Night Long. Like, there's a whole bunch of songs, classic songs on this one here. So Back in Black would be the first one. Again, still riding that wave here. Then the 80s were not very kind. Again, I'm basing this on Canada here, maybe North America. I don't know. I don't want to put words in people from the US there, but in especially here in Ottawa there, they were a parody of themselves, basically. They weren't very popular as much there. So they came out with this one. Honestly, for those about to rock, We Salute You is basically the only thing worthwhile on this. I don't like this album as much. I even had bought it at the time when I was buying all those CDs of what the fuck is this singer's name? Oh my god, I can't believe I just friggin' forgot the singer's name there. Anyway, that guy, my god, why can't I think of his name? Anyway, that's embarrassing. I'm gonna press pause right now. I can't. All right, I remember now. Bon Scott. I was like, I was actually looking, and then I'm like, okay, it just came to me, Bon Scott. Anyway, so for those about to rock, yeah, whatever. It's one great song. Okay, this one here, I would call this an underappreciated gem. Again, they were not very as popular in the '80s, but for the let there flick of the switch. Jesus Christ, flick of the switch. Great songs on this actually. I do love Flick the Switch, Nervous Shakedown. I had went bought a DVD with all their videos, so there's some great stuff from this one here. Anyway, Flick of the Switch, great album here too. This one here, people seem to not like it. I didn't even know how I didn't understand the title. I thought it was called Flow on the Wall as a kid. I understand the fly with an I, but I did love the artwork. I did love the videos. It was an interesting idea for videos, making them all um, follow each other, you know. But you know what? I gotta give Sink the Pink is so friggin' good. Okay. Um, the rest is decent. I don't mind this album. People seem to hate this one here, but again, there was a little weird at the time there. All right, next up, this is actually the first one that I bought on vinyl. Okay, so I did have this. I think this is a great soundtrack to the movie Maximum Overdrive by, and who made who was there's a video for that. You Shook Me All Night Long. Okay, by the way, there's a video for You Shook Me All Night Long, but I think it was recorded. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I am not an acdc expert. Okay, I like my music. I don't really, when I'll do my ranking, I'll do more research on these guys here, but You Shook Me All Night Long, the video was recorded during this album's era, because there's the Back in Black footage is all like grainy live, but there's actually a real video for You Shook Me All Night Long. Sink the Pink is here. Actually, I do like the two new instrumental tracks, DT and Chase the Ace. And here, yeah, so this was all Brian John. I had this on cassette also way back, and there was a song called Right On. I was like, man, that really sticks out, but not for good reasons. But the more I listened to it, I'm like, yeah, that's actually a pretty freaking good song there, Right On. So anyway, a good soundtrack right here. Next up, Blow Up Your Video. First of all, this is a terrible album cover, extremely dated. Blow Up Your Video, like it's just like Heat Seeker is not a bad song. That's the way I want to rock and roll. Decent, but I remember these guys were like, they were not attracting. I know my friend Steph went to see this tour live. He said there wasn't that many people there. Great show though, but their popularity was not like they were the 80s were not very happy to them until this album happened, and this is the one we're talking about here. Well, holy F. When I first heard Thunderstruck, I was like, wow, that's actually a pretty friggin' cool song. Cool riff. Looks complicated. I don't know. I'm not a guitarist there. But then, of course, after that, you had Money Talks, which is another great song. Are You Ready? Another great song right here. The whole, I mean, there's nothing as good as Thunderstruck and Money Talks, if you ask me there. But a very solid album. But, like, this has got Thunderstruck on it, okay? So this is normal that... So this put this band back on the map big time. They were back to selling out arenas and I guess stadiums now. Again, I don't know what was happening in Australia or Europe or whatever. I'm just telling you what was happening here. Like I said, talked to my friends, and a lot of bands were struggling in the late 80s here, but this really put them back on the map. So now we're at the middle point where there's one, two, three, 5 albums after this one here. So I remember everybody was pretty much talking acdc after the Razor's Edge, and then this comes out, Ball Breaker. And I remember the first single, Hard as a Rock, and I was like, wow, that's very underwhelming. So And there's the Fuhrer sucks. Like I really don't like that song there. It's very bluesy, and that's another thing. The other ones were like kind of in your face rock with hints of blues. This was way too bluesy. But Ball Breaker really does nothing for me. And I remember my friend, again, Steph, had bought this, lent it to me, and I brought it him back. I'm like, yeah, that's no, it does nothing for me. This album here. They look again back to being tired or missing some ideas or whatever after the Razor's Edge. So they were kind of back to the same, but popularity wise, they were still selling out like you wouldn't believe. I still have not seen them live until this point, until they came, sorry, they came to Ottawa here, and I saw them for the first time on the Stiff Upper Lip tour. Well, you know what? This was actually probably one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. I had never seen acdc. I was like, I couldn't believe the crowd, how much they loved them. And they start off the show with "You Shook Me All Night Long," and there was a statue of Angus in the background. It was nuts. I loved the concert. But the album, apart from Stiff Upper Lip, and I actually went on my friend Keith from Attack from Down Under, who's also on the Kansas Connection here on this channel. We did an album comparison between this one and was it Inferno by Motorhead? And I was listening to this, I was like, my God, this is they are they it feels that they feel old, they feel tired, they feel unmotivated. I mean, Stiff Upper Lip is a good song, but what song? Oh yeah, then there was that song that they played live on this show, and everybody was like, "What the hell is this?" It was "Safe in New York City." Talk about a redundant song. So I do remember that song being played live. I remember everybody looking at each other going, "What? Okay, like get something different here." Like that song will always stick in my head there. But yeah, this album here is yeah, it does nothing for me at all here. So Stiff Upper Lip, great concert though. Great. I loved seeing them live for this. Then, okay, this one here. So Black Ice. I'll put do you see the word Black Ice? Yeah, try there you go. Black Ice. There you go. Hard to see. So I think the album starts off really, really, really strong. Really strong. Rock and Roll Train is great. Skies on Fire is good. Big Jack is friggin' good. I love that song. Anything Goes, again, great. Then, like, you think War Machine, you think it'd be something pretty friggin' heavy. No, it's like one of the wimpiest songs I've ever heard. Like, to me, this album starts off really strong, and there's 15 songs on this. I would have easily chopped off 5 songs off of this. Like, it really goes nowhere near the end. But people remember Rock and Roll Train. I remember my brother-in-law going to see this, and he's like, "Oh my God, I couldn't hear the crowd was so loud, you couldn't hear anything." Well, you could hardly hear the band in a way there, but it was just friggin' loud. He was very impressed by the crowd here. I missed this one, but they did come to Ottawa for this. So starts off really strong, then really fizzles like. Yeah, the rest is just shite, if you ask me there. Okay, this one here. So, I saw this tour here in a stadium outside here in Ottawa. Great show. I would just say that the Stiff Upper Lip tour was a little bit better just because it was probably my first time. I just didn't know what to expect. I was not expecting the crowd to be that, like, the crowd here, you could look in general admission, and everybody was wearing those little Red Devil. And then every time you hear, was it da 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 da, Whole Lot of Rosie, da 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 da, Angus, da 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 da, Angus. But okay, so I saw this tour. Rock or Bust is a decent song. Play Ball had a video. I liked it when it first came out, but now it's just completely forgotten. But my brother-in-law is like, why the hell would you start a show with a song from this album? It was either Rock or Bust or Play Ball. I just don't remember which of the two they started the show with. And I was like, at the time I was like, whatever, they're just promoting the album. But again, it gets me thinking that everybody loves going to see ACDC, but they don't want to hear the new stuff. They want to hear the old stuff. Again, before Razor's Edge and on. So I don't remember apart from obviously they're promoting this album. I don't even know if they did any Black Ice, Stiff Upper Lip, or Ball Breaker songs off that tour. If they did, they were quite forgettable. Let me put it that way because I don't remember them at all. But yeah, Rock or Bust, whatever. It's okay. It's another lenticular. Was this lenticular? Yeah. Oh, maybe it's like this. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This is the coolest part of the album, I guess. There. But again, I'll do a rating later on there. I've listened to them, just not. Then their last one, Power Up, which actually I didn't mind, but again, was it Shot in the Dark? Again, it's all stuff that's okay. You listen to it like, oh, it's good, and then you put it away and you forget about it. So why does and it's the same thing with all the other bands I mentioned. Like, it seems that the newer stuff, nobody gives a rat's ass about it. And this is not just me here. Like, I get excited when I hear early ACDC with Bon Scott. See, now I got him. And then when Brian Johnson came out and came in, I mean, sure, there was Back in Black, The Razor's Edge, and then maybe a few songs here and there. But overall, does every album after The Razor's Edge suck? You know what? The short answer, I would say no. Yes, they do. Sorry, yes, they do suck. But there's a few songs here and there. I find that they're good, but they're just not memorable. Okay, now why is it that this band just keeps selling out? Like they're like in their borderline like 80 years old, like between 70 and 80 for sure there. Again, they make a great show. Don't get me wrong here. But I just, like, AC/DC is a band and a style of music that again, that what they say, 20, I don't know how many albums that was there, 20 something there. It just gets old and stale after a while listening to that same old stuff over and over. But why can I still go and listen to the Bon Scott era and a few from Brian Johnson? It still sounds fresh, but the new stuff is just like, it's just based on blues and blues rock to me, and it's all mid-paced blues rock. So I don't know. Am I on like again? This is not just based on myself. This is people I've asked. Like I said, I've given examples. There's every time I've seen a show with the newer albums, it was like, oh, that song wasn't that great. But nobody ever says, oh, let's see, Dirty Deeds. Nah, I don't want to hear that. That sucks. Nobody ever says that. But again, opening the tour of Rock or Bust with either Rock or Bust or Play Ball, people are like, why the hell would you do that? Like, that was not a good way to start a concert, is my point. And same thing with when I went to see the Stiff Upper Lip tour, like Safe in New York City. Talk about a redundant song. I'm like, oh my God, who said, oh my God, that's, just repeat it. It's great. No, it's not. But again, I don't want to, if they ever come back here live, sure, I'm a sucker for a concert. People have called me a concert whore many times. I do love going to see a concert. I'll go see them live anytime. But I guarantee you that most of the songs will be anything from starting from the first album all the way up to the Razor's Edge. And unless they're touring for Power Up right now, which is you'll probably hear songs from there, but I guarantee you the freaking crowd will be not as energetic at all. Like nobody seems to care about the songs of the new albums, the newer albums. They just seem to care about the brand of ACDC and the concert experience. Um, I bet you I'll ask any Joe Schmo like, all right, you like Power Up? You know what? Name me a song. Like probably wouldn't even be able to name me a song there. But anyway, it's again the short answer for me is: does every album suck after the Razor's Edge? Yes, they do suck. But asterisk. There's a few good songs here and there, but the general public doesn't seem to care about these new songs because they are released and they're forgotten right away. And again, I do not understand how this type of music is so popular, like in a concert. I mean, ACDC is good, but you like you hear these bands like Airborne. Oh my God, that they sound like ACDC, and I find it's not that they're simple. It's like they're literally copying ACDC. And same thing with Thunder Mother at the beginning of their discography was just like, oh my God, it's a little too much ACDC tribute or copying, if you want to say it there. But yeah, that's my opinion. You can let me know in the comments. You can tell me to f off. I'm sure I'm pissing off right now the whole continent or country of Australia. So maybe New Zealand. I don't know there how they feel about that band there, but yeah, it's how I feel, and it is what I've heard other people tell me when they go either see them live or listen to the albums. Like everybody knows, Back in Black and Highway to Hell, those two albums. But anything after the Razor's Edge, I like, oh, I've never heard that one, or yeah, I have it, but it's not really good, or whatever. But they're still selling out arenas. They're pretty much the definition of a nostalgia act right there. So, anyway, that is my ACDC episode. But again, I like them enough to go and buy every friggin' album of them. Like, at first I was like, all I had was on vinyl, Who Made Who. Then my friends from New Zealand, Steve and Keith, were making fun of me for not owning Back in Black. This was like 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. He's got Chrissy Steele, but he doesn't have Back in Black. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get it. So I got the discography there. They weren't. I really had to shop for these guys because I had to look for deals because I was like, and they were really re-releasing them with the gold, and the prices are friggin' ridiculous here in Canada anyway. I'm like, no way, I'm not buying that. I don't think I bought any of those. Maybe the Razor's Edge is one of those gold albums, but yeah, still, I don't know. ACDC, all it doesn't. It's not fair for me to say all this, but already I'm going into this just by liking them. I do not love them at all. Like not even close to loving them. I would say if I would use the word love, I would probably say I love the Bon Scott era. I do not love the Brian Johnson era at all, save for Back in Black, which if I never hear those songs again, I'll probably be okay. Like, but yeah, that's my opinion. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Am I full of shit? Am I right? Again, this is all just for fun, guys. But I do enjoy making these because this is all based on what people, the general public, saying. There's always this little. They were great before this, and then something happens here, and they start to suck. Not just ACDC. Like I said, I did Iron Maiden, I did Rush, and I did Alice Cooper, and I'll probably do some more where people seem to say that, like, I thought about doing a Kiss one, but Kiss has a couple of Do I do the, oh, I only like the first six albums, okay? Or I only like them with the makeup with the original band. Or I didn't like nobody ever likes the non-makeup era. But anyway, that's to me that one's a big. I'd have to find a that's just an example there. But anyway, that is my episode regarding ACDC. Does every album suck after The Razor's Edge? Yeah. So anyway, cheers to you all. See, I'm still having a nice smile here there. So take this episode with a grain of salt. Have a good one, guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.